What tastes like spinach crossed with green beans or clover, and is also one of the most famous wild edible plants of South America? This is chipilin. I just love this plant. This is Cordellaria longistrata, and it is a wild leguminous plant native to South America. It's considered a noxious weed in the United States and Hawaii and Australia, where it has apparently started to grow there. This is such a cool plant. If you are lucky like me, you may have Mexican grocery stores that will sell this plant frozen. It's relatively expensive, and that package was about $8. I have another market called Dragon Star in St. Paul, check Asian markets too, and they actually sell it fresh on occasion if I'm lucky. And this will be about $5 for about 4 ounces, and it is a large plant. You'll have to sit here and pick the leaves off. You want to make sure to get any of the small stems off there like I'm picking, but really all you need to do is just get the plant fresh. You can freeze it, just freeze it from raw, and you're just picking all of the leaves off, and you can just take the stems here and just strip the leaves right off. But like I said, you will want to make sure that you look it over for any small pieces of stem. That said, if you get some little stems in there, it's not going to be that bad. And what we're going to do, we're going to take the leaves and use them how they're traditionally used, which is adding them to masa, although they're used in a number of different things too. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the masa, and same masa used for tamales, and I made a whole bunch of different batches. This should be animal fat or unsalted butter, a little bit of salt, some fat, hot chicken stock to kind of wilt the leaves there, and just add a whole bunch of the chipilin leaves, and then mix that together. And depending on what you're gonna make, this one was a little bit more dry because I was going to make pupusas for tamales. I make it a little bit more juicy. And first, we're going to make pupusas. If you haven't had pupusas, they are basically little mini stuffed tortillas. They're El Salvadorian. They used to be like a form of currency in restaurants that I worked at. And typically, the woman who was not the dishwasher's wife would show up in an Astro van. And then, the pupusas, it was like 3 pupusas you could trade for a duck breast or a piece of prime rib. They're so good. They're like a perfect little portable snack. And they're traditionally eaten with a fermented coleslaw called curtido. Also excellent if you want to make that, if you're going to make pupusas. So you basically just take a little bit of masa and make a pocket, put some cheese in, form that into a patty, and then you just keep on going and don't put too much filling in. Refried beans are also another very traditional filling, but this is one of the most traditional things to do with the chipilin leaves. And they're so easy. Kids love to make these. I made like 800 of these filled with wheat lecoche one year for the Harvest Festival. And you're just going to fry these in a cast iron pan. You don't need to grease it. It's okay if they get a little dark. A comal, or like a cast iron griddle, is going to be the more traditional thing to cook these on. But a cast iron skillet works just fine. And what you get are these little stuffed tortillas. Oh my God, they're filled with cheese. You can put salsa on them, hot sauce, whatever you want. You can reheat them, put them in the freezer. They're absolutely wonderful. Okay, tamales. Tamales are probably more widely known as a vehicle for the chipilin leaves. And for that, we're just going to take a little bit of the masa. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do these here. So this one, I did not put anything in it. So I would call this a tamalito or a little tamale. And you can wrap that in the corn husk. Corn husks are kind of putsy, but they are very pretty. Another thing you can do, and what I prefer to do, is to take a little bit of the masa and then stuff it with a little piece of cheese. That gets all melty and gooey when you eat it. And just put that right back into the corn husk and wrap that up. Tying it gets to be a little bit of a pain, but it's okay. Now, okay, this is the easier version. This is how I prefer to make them, but I had some corn husks, so I thought I would just show you both versions. Get some banana leaves. You can find these in the frozen section of your local Mexican market or a place that sells Mexican food. Take some queso Oaxaca or queso Chihuahua. Just wrap that thing up in the banana leaf. Some people just wrap the whole, you can also just wrap the whole thing up in the foil. Don't worry if it splits a little bit, as they're kind of prone to do. Wrap that up into a nice little foil package. Okay, we'll do another one here. These are so easy. I mean, it took me like 20 minutes to bang out like 16 of them. My whole family is going to eat them this weekend. I am so excited. And then for steaming, this can be a tricky part. So they have tamale pots, but you can take like a little bowl and balance a bunch of chopsticks on there and then put some water in it. And then you just steam those for 2 hours. Boom. And isn't that so cool? Instead of just the regular masa, you have the masa flecked with these beautiful little tender leaves that they don't add a ton of flavor, but they're so cool. I mean, and they're super traditional, just really worth trying. Other than that, they also can be used to make a shake. So a little chicken stock, little cooked potato, excellent and surprising. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about chipilin, such a cool native wild edible plant from South America that you can probably find if you have a Mexican market near you. All the recipes are on my website in the link at the top of the video description. Thanks for watching.